Today I'm going to teach you how to combine materials and images so you can have unique characters that look like this. So to get started with this, I'm going to introduce you guys to a site that has tons of free materials. And that site is called ambientcg.com. So if you go to this site, it'll normally take you to this page. So then just hit assets, and you can either just look around at random to find the asset you're looking for, or you can type in something specific. I work with a lot of fabrics, and this will be about fabric. So I'm just going to type in fabric. Let's turn that caps lock off though. So now here are all the fabrics that are options for our clothing that we're going to do. So off the top of my head, something that seems kind of fun to do is almost like a jean fabric. So I might do something like jeans maybe. I think I'm going to choose this one over here. In fact, never mind all that. I think a corduroy jacket. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a really fun corduroy, and I feel like I have a brother who always wore corduroy, and this kind of reminds me of his style. So let's do this corduroy. And then you're just going to hit whatever option you want. I do recommend downloading the JPEGs versus the PNG, because as you can see, the file size gets pretty extensive if you download a bunch of these PNGs. So just stick with the JPEG for now. It's in rare situations you'll need 4K. Most of the time 2K will get the job done. 8K is just outrageous and you'll never need it. So find the file in your downloads that you're trying to work with. Select that file, right click, and then hit extract all. So I don't typically want it to go to my C drive, so just wherever you save your textures, go to your textures. I have them in my D drive, Blender Textures. I spelled it wrong on accident years ago. Then I'm going to select folder, and I'm going to hit extract. So now we should be able to hop back over to Blender, and I'll show you what to do next. So now that we're in Blender, select the object you're working with, and I'm going to go to shading. And as you can see, I've already done a lot of stuff with this object. However, I'm going to undo all this just so I can show you guys. So one of the first things we're going to want to do is we have this jacket, but now instead, one thing I usually do is I hit tab on the article clothing I'm working with, and just so we can see everything a little bit better, I'm going to hit it so we don't see the solidify modifier working right now. So what we need to do is head over here to edge select mode. So you want to choose one of your edges that you're not going to see as typically. So I'm actually going to hide my lady here. And she's got some freaky face stuff, so just ignore that. So, one of the seams that I don't believe will be as noticeable is kind of in this armpit area. I'm hoping won't be as noticeable. So I'm going to select both of those, and then I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to go down here to mark seam. And now, on this outfit, that is the new seam for this outfit. So let's head back over and add a material and see how it turns out. So with your material selected, you want to go over here to your main shader for that material, and you're going to have it selected and then do Control-Shift-T. And I will add that this method only works with the add-on Node Wrangler, and you can easily set that up by just heading up to Edit, Preferences, and Node Wrangler is an add-on that comes installed in Blender. All you need to do is enable it. So then just head over to your add-ons, search for Node Wrangler, and then make sure that's checked. Okay, so now that we've gone through that, hit Control-Shift-T, go to whichever folder you saved your textures in. So I have mine in Blender Textures over here, and it was Fabric 28. So typically it's at the very top, or if you're not sure where in that folder it is, because I have, as you can see, a ton of textures in this folder, you can search specifically for what you're looking for. So like I have metals, so if I just type metal, here's a bunch of metal textures, and I have wood, So you get the idea. So just type in whatever you're looking for, but for now, I just need this. Selecting at the top and holding Shift. And when you do this, it selects all of these files. You don't need USDA and USDC files. You only need your JPEG files when doing this. So with those files selected, do your principal texture setup in the bottom right corner here and click it. And now let me head into a shader. You can actually see it. So now you should see we've got a fairly nice looking jacket here. So now you'll see we have a little bit of jankiness going on here, but we haven't done the trick that makes our marked seams really help. So select your object again, hit tab, make sure everything's selected and you're in face mode, and now we're gonna go to UV unwrap. And now that should actually unwrap and use those seams that we have already unwrapped. However, I'm seeing that to me this angle is kind of funny. So the nice thing about what Node Wrangler does is we have over here in our shader, on the far right, you'll have the mapping node. So in your mapping node, you'll have a lot of options like scale, and you'll also have rotation. To me, this just needs to be rotated because I think a corduroy jacket wouldn't quite make sense if it was in this direction and orientation. So usually Z-axis is what you'll need to do, so I'm going to hit Z-axis and then just type in 90 to rotate 90 degrees. And that got us much closer for me to what would look normal, like these sleeves, and now it's more of a parallel with the fabric. So that looks pretty good. However, maybe you want to change the color of this. So I'm doing Shift A, search, and then I'm just going to search for color ramp. And if you're new to nodes, or if you're experienced with nodes, you'll know the color ramp is basically one of the most useful things you could possibly use when doing nodes. And now you'll see, I've got no color, but however, all you need to do is just change it to the color you want. I think for her, this kind of like brownish yellow might look nice. Almost more of a cream, I guess, color. And then of course you can slide these and mess with their values even more and make certain parts stand out or not stand out as much. However, I'm not really going to mess with that a whole lot. I think it looked kind of okay as is. Okay, so now once you've messed with your fabric or whatever material you're working with, maybe you now want to add another image to it. So we can easily do that by heading over to Google. Let's pick an image to put on it, maybe a pattern of some sort. So I think the pattern that I'd like to have on my outfit is it called the Akatsuki? It's from Naruto. I'm gonna add those little like clouds. Naruto Akatsuki. There we go. Images, Akatsuki, cloud pattern. I can probably say cloud pattern. Okay, and so now we have like a bunch of Naruto Akatsuki cloud patterns. Like a shocking amount that people have done. So I'm gonna make sure and leave a link in the description to this image that I use, whichever one I use, because I don't want to have any copyright issues. But I think most people, you should be fine. So I've got this. So now I'm just gonna download this to my computer and we'll take it from there in Blender. Okay, so now that I have downloaded the pattern I want, I'm going to do Shift A while in my shading tab, by the way. Shift A, search, and now I'm going to search for image texture. So now that should have popped up, and I'm going to hit open. And now wherever you downloaded that texture, find it. I'm going to hit open to that texture. And now I'm going to wait just a second, move some stuff over, and let's now add a mix node. So Shift A, mix, and they've changed it recently if you aren't familiar. So now it just says mix, and now we're going to switch from float to color. So I'm just going to drop this right there. And let's also just throw in our new pattern. And so now you can see we've already got the Akatsuki pattern. Looks kind of janky. On this little old lady, this like teacher. Okay. And now using this mixed node, you have a bunch of options. And just so you know, all the steps we did with the seams and everything are very important to making your image look okay when adding a new image. So make sure you mark those seams and then you unwrap the faces around those seams. Otherwise, your image texture isn't going to look right. Okay. So I'm fairly happy with the size and everything of this. However, if you're not, one thing you can do is you just add a mapping node and as well as a texture coordinate node. And on this, we're working with the UV unwrap. So let's hit the UV, connect that to the top vector option on your mapping, and then that vector option on the right side connect to the vector for your image. And now if you just simply click your mouse, drag down on all those scale options, you can adjust your scale as you'd like for your object. However, I kind of liked how it was originally. That was just for you guys' benefit. So let's just leave it like that. So one thing I'm not loving about this is the color of these clouds here. So I'm wondering if we can perhaps change those colors a little bit by doing another color ramp. Okay, so now that you're here, you can obviously see you can mess with these colors even more. I would recommend not going too crazy with this option. However, I just feel like red was a little much. So, and I kind of want to hit this cream vibe for this outfit. So, one thing I might do as well is take the black here and I might change it to more of a cream option. And then she'll have these little cream clouds on her corduroy jacket. And somewhere around that color I think looks kind of nice. And honestly, I could just stop it right there. However, instead of mixing these two things, which you can adjust using this little bar here, I would more like to just put these on top of each other. So I'm going to go to add, and I'm hoping, yeah, to me it helps the corduroy come through a little bit better in this option. And now she's got some pretty Akatsuki patterns on her fancy corduroy jacket. Anyway, I went over kind of a lot of node stuff today, and I'm hoping it was helpful. If you're experienced in nodes, this probably wasn't that useful to you. If you're not experienced in nodes, I hope this helps you guys out later. So that's how you add any image or pattern to texture assets from another website. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And thank you guys so much. Have a great day.